The ancient Egyptian contemplated the cosmic laws, and came to the conclusion that these laws, that govern the world, were the ideal that he wanted to apply on the earth. He wanted to apply it in his life, in his values, in his social responsibility, and in his relationships with other people, animals, nature, and even gods. He wanted to see everything become as above, as below, as Thoth, the god of wisdom, said in his tablets, known as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Just as the universe has supreme laws that govern and regulate it, and prevent it from falling into the abyss of chaos, so also, man should have laws that govern and regulate his behavior, and prevent man from falling into the abyss. This is what was known by the ancient Egyptians as the 42 laws of the Maat, or the negative confessions, or the declaration of innocence. The 42 laws of the Maat is a list of 42 sins, which the soul of the deceased can honestly say he or she has never committed, when he or she stands in judgment in the afterlife. The most famous list comes from the Papyrus of Ani, called the Book of Coming Forth by Day, and widely translated as the Egyptian Book of the Dead, 1250 BCE, which is often described by Egyptologists as the ancient Egyptian Bible. These laws are ascribed to Maat. Who or what is then Maat in ancient Egyptian culture? Maat, or Meat, refers to the ancient Egyptian concepts of truth, balance, order, harmony, law, morality, and justice. Maat was also the goddess who personified these concepts. The story of the 42 laws of Maat. This story is an essential part included in the Book of the Dead, which is a funerary text providing instructions to the soul in the afterlife. Since the ancient Egyptians believed that the soul was eternal, and one's life on earth was only a brief aspect of an eternal journey, it was considered vital that the soul should have some kind of guidebook to navigate the next phase of existence. On earth, it was understood, if one did not know where one was going, one could not arrive at the desired destination. The Egyptians, being eminently practical, believed one would need a guide in the afterlife, just as one did on earth. The purpose of these texts was to orient and reassure the soul of the deceased. Once it awoke in its tomb following the funeral, the soul would be unaccustomed to the world outside of the body, and would need to be reminded of who it had been, what it had done, and what it should do next. In most depictions, the soul would be led from the tomb by Anubis to stand in judgment before Osiris, Thoth, and the 42 judges. When one's turn came, one would stand before the gods and recite the negative confession, each one addressed to a specific judge, and then hand over one's heart to be weighed in the balances. It was thought that the heart contained one's character, one's personality, and intellect, and would need to be surrendered to the gods in the afterlife for judgment. The heart was placed on the scale, in balance against the white feather of truth, representing Maat. And, if it was found to be lighter, one went on toward paradise. If it was heavier, it was dropped onto the floor, where it was eaten by the monster Ammit, the goddess who is called Devourer of the Dead, and the soul then ceased to exist. Prior to this final judgment, and one's reward or punishment, Osiris, Thoth, and Anubis would confer with the 42 judges. This would be the point at which allowances might be made. The 42 judges represented the spiritual aspects of the 42 districts of ancient Egypt, and it is thought that each of the confessions addressed a certain kind of sin, which would have been particularly offensive in a specific district. If the judges felt that one had been more virtuous than not, it was recommended that the soul be justified and allowed to get to paradise. Once there, the soul would enjoy an eternity in a world which perfectly reflected one's life on earth. Everything one thought had been lost would be returned, and souls would live in peace with each other and the gods, enjoying all of the best aspects of life for eternity. The 42 negative confessions, as a prerequisite to enjoy blissful eternity. Before one could reach this paradise, however, the negative confessions had to be accepted by the gods, and this meant one had to be able to sincerely mean what was said. The following is the translation of the 42 negative confessions by the great Egyptologist Wallace Budge from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not been angry without reason. I have not seduced anyone's wife. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the law. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not cursed God. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily or without thought. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil. I have not used evil thoughts, words or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought, word or deeds. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to God. I have not stolen from, or disrespected the deceased. I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to God.